What's up everyone? I'm home from my New Year's vacation and consistent videos are coming back. So welcome back to the College Hoops 2K Legacy Mode series featuring Coach Carter and the Fordham Rams, episode number 7 of season 1. We tipped off Atlantic 10 play last episode, and safe to say we learned pretty quickly that this conference is no joke. We dropped our first 4 games in league play to extend the losing streak to 7, as we now sit at 3 wins and 11 losses on season 1. But to be fair, we were dealt a pretty unlucky hand with our schedule. We play a lot of the good Atlantic teams back to back to open. And in this episode, we'll be wrapping up that brutal part of the schedule as we try to snap the losing streak. As you can see, we've been in pretty much every game, but we've just had trouble closing out our opponents down the stretch. At the end of the day though, even though some of these turn into L's on the score sheet, or rather the schedule, I mean, hey, we are competing. We're not rolling over in many of these games, so that's all Coach Carter wants to see in season 1 is growth. That's a big thesis for season 1. Just seeing growth and seeing the younger guys get better, and that'll go a long way in the future of this series. The 3 games today will be against a 13-win Dayton team, then 2 ranked teams back-to-back in Charlotte and Richmond. So obviously it's a hill to climb as we try to break our losing ways. Dayton is a very deep team with 10 players who average 10 minutes of playing time a night. And that may be why they're such a really tough team to decipher on offense. They got a lot of fresh legs on the defensive side of the floor, as they're right behind Charlotte in least points per game allowed. And they have so much length, including a 7-footer named Bamba Shimokawa, who is a pretty unprecedented player. You won't see many 7-footers who have the IQ, shot blocking ability, and shooting touch like Shimokawa. So welcome back to Fordham, everybody. It's great to be back. As you guys know, I travel a lot for work, so it's nice to know that you guys are very understanding when I don't have a lot of videos posted for some amounts of time, but we're back, and videos are coming back consistently as we begin with Evangelo Higgins making an outside jumper. But Higgins is someone I wanted to highlight. After starting out the season averaging 10.6 points per game in his first 5 games and shooting nearly 50% from the floor, his last 10 have only been around 8 points per game and down to around 40% shooting. And those 10 games is after he made the switch to small forward after Preston Murphy got promoted to the starting 5. So perhaps Higgins isn't much so equipped to play the small forward role, but I mean, hey, he gets the block shot there, beginning his game with a bucket, a block, and an assist to Preston Murphy. But I don't know, maybe Higgins is just better suited at the 2. So then we're going to have to figure out what do we do with Preston Murphy if we want Evangelo Higgins playing at his best level. So we're going to switch back over to Dayton's side of things as they continue to struggle. Both teams are kind of out of the gate. And here we go with Preston Murphy returning the favor to Evangelo Higgins on the next possession. And I know it's only 5 minutes, but we've seen this time and time again. Fordham gets out to these good starts. They've only allowed 7 points to Dayton, and we're about halfway through, a little bit more so halfway through this first half of action. But check out our point guard, Vashawn Pollard, splitting the difference between 2 Dayton Flyers, getting back and getting the block on Tracy Ogman, and Stan Scott tops it off on the other end. Nice little baby cross, and he glides his way through. Stan Scott's been getting more minutes than Hassan Rivera at the backup forward position, and he's been making the most out of his playing time after being unhappy for not seeing many minutes. Now in this possession, Cade Sorensen actually has 2 early fouls, so guess who checks in for some time? It's Kosuke Takahashi, the 7-foot backup center from Japan, and he will knock down the layup that was actually a play designed to go through him. So nicely done, making good on his opportunity there, and then he'll try to set a screen for AJ Ali on this possession. Nice tough move, but rotating over is Stafford, and then Preston Murphy on the follow gets blocked by Stafford. That's Archie Stafford, another very tall and lanky Dayton player who comes over from the weak side to block 2 Fordham Rams, and topping it off on the other end will be Tracy Ogman, getting those points back after getting rejected by Pollard on the other possession moments ago. So now 3:42 left to go in the first half. Still not many points scored by either team, but take a look at this 2-man game between the backup point, Nick Nystrom, and Evangelo Higgins. Nice teamwork there as the lead extends to 3, but Dayton not going anywhere. They're starting to finally hit some shots after starting out so lackluster on the offensive side of the floor, but then an outside jumper is made by Nick Nystrom, who continues to play a solid backup role. But then beating us up on the other side is Derek Alford, the backup point guard for the Flyers now, and Bamba Shimokawa with a 3. Told you guys to watch out for him. That's his 9th made 3 on the season, averaging 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 blocks a game for the Flyers. All of those categories he actually leads for Dayton, so this kid can really do it all. But hey, it's another game where we're tied with a really solid club. Dayton can play, no doubt about that, but we've given ourselves a chance to compete here in the second half, and it's all about putting the pieces together to finally play a full 30 minutes of basketball. As you guys know, our biggest challenge this entire season has been just playing a full 30 minutes and staying consistent all the way through. We'll see how we open things up. It's Fashawn Pollard getting us underway. All right, Pollard. He is not a player you'll see take or make many threes. He only shoots 2 of 15 on the season, so that's only a second made tray ball, but it comes at a perfect time. We take a 3-point lead. Dayton works it around to Darren Rose, who has a shot blocked again. Some great defense played on the lanky 6'10 forward by Higgins all day long. It's turned back over, however. We've only given it away one time in the first half, but then we take it right back. Preston Murphy, buckle up. It's signed, sealed, and delivered for a 2-point jam on the other side. I know Coach Carter isn't, the most flashy coach of all time. He's a very 2 points is 2 points kind of guy, but I mean, hey, you got to take them when they come. That is a play that can revitalize a struggling offense. So 10 minutes to go here. Darren Rose tries to deliver an assist to Brian Zoller off the mark. Cade Sorensen collects his 4th rebound as he checks back in, and take a look at Murphy. He has a pass that he just slips backdoor inside to Evangelo Higgins. I've been very impressed with Preston Murphy as this one goes inside to Stan Scott, but that is turnover number 3 for us on the game. Kyrie Somerville with those broad shoulders. He pretty much knocks Nystrom out of the way there on the break, tying things back up at 37. But Preston Murphy's been really impressive whenever he play makes from the wing. Some guys are just better from the wing, setting up for other guys, and I think he's one of them. So now Stan Scott checks in. He's getting some run with some starters here, including Amir Holiday, who checks in, and he will knock down a mid-range jump shot. AJ Ali, he's second in the team in scoring up to this point in the season. Not having a good game today, but one thing I love about AJ Ali is that he is not a very selfish player. He will find different ways to contribute, as on the other end, Dayton takes the lead. It's Darren Rose, who struggled all game long, but standing at 6'10", he's not even worried about the contest from 6'4" Amir Holiday on that possession. He shoots right over him, and Dayton back out in front 42-39. So now 6 minutes left to go in the game. We have the starting 5 out there except for Fabian Swanson and Nystrom, 2 bench players, and this one is kicked around to Kyrie Somerville. Really good inside and out scorer, and I think it's starting to happen again, man. We just go through these bad slumps, and it seems to happen at the worst times. Now we're not playing defense, and we haven't scored much in the last 3 or 4 minutes. We got to get someone like AJ Ali going. The double comes as we try to take advantage of his mismatch, but we're still trying to get it into him. Ali backs down Jaleel Cohen. He's the Dayton point guard. Kicked around to Evangelo Higgins, who jays Darren Rose despite giving up 3 inches of height. He swishes that one through. That's AJ Ali's 6th assist, and that's a game high. So now 3.5 left to go. We're starting to reach the crunch time of this one. Backdoor, Darren Rose. It's blocked, but Somerville regains possession. And once again, it's an unlucky play for Fordham. It seems like down the stretch, we're always on the wrong side of these types of 50-50 plays. But this one's kicked around to Fabian Swanson as the pace of this game starting to get turned up a notch. Swanson with 7 off the bench. 3 minutes left to go. It's Fashawn Pollard against Jaleel Cohen. And now it's Darren Rose, who will move to the corner after feeding the post. A very crisp 2-man game run there. Rose up to 10 points after starting out so cold and having a couple shots blocked. He's starting to catch fire. So now down by 7, it's Preston Murphy, who has a shot rejected. Of course, it's Darren Rose. Cohen then has a pass deflected. Fashawn Pollard continues to be our best perimeter defender on the season, and a nice up and under move by Murphy. Only 6 points for him today. He's shooting 3 of 10 to this point, but it's never too late to get your star players going. So now it's a 5-point game. Cohen, he's trapped and is forced into another mistake. It's Pollard and AJ Ali doing it on defense and now offense. Nicely done there. Pollard with the touch pass. He dwindles the lead back down to 3 with 91 seconds left to go on the game clock. So now it's our starting five back in the game, and then this pass is just thrown out of bounds. No one was there to help Archie Stafford inbound the ball, and he throws a very lazy turnover there, not waiting for a Dayton Flyer to just come and assist him to bring up the ball. So finally a stroke of luck for Fordham. We don't see teams help them out with stupid turnovers like that very often. So we get the ball back in a free possession pretty much as Pollard will direct traffic. He wants a pick, crossover, draws two. AJ Ollie kicking it back out for the tie. It's Evangelo Higgins with 11 on the game. This kid is just made of a different fabric. It doesn't matter what kind of game he's at up to this point, which he's played pretty solid today, but we've seen it in times past where Higgins will play bad for pretty much 25 minutes, and then the last 5 minutes is all him. He just gets into a zone whenever the game clock is winding down. So now a minute to go. It's pretty much a new ball game, 53-53, until Cohen returns the favor. The Flyers point guard, who's not much of a three-point shooter, but ice in his veins as he gets those 3 points right back. So now 42 seconds to play. It's now Vashon Pollard and the Fordham offense, and we're taking our sweet time here. We could have gone 2 for 1, but looks like we're content with just getting a good one. 7 seconds left. Pollard tries to kick it around to Murphy. It's contested, but then Swanson is there, getting more minutes than Cade Sorensen down the stretch. And it's a reach and foul, so we'll be able to line things up and get a good inbound play here with 22 ticks left. Fabian Swanson's been our best offensive rebounder on the season, and he's getting more minutes than Sorensen here down the stretch. Here we go with Murphy, shot out of a cannon from the elbow. 8 points, and Fordham will begin to foul here. So the Flyers, they will head into the bonus, and the 1-1 will be all up to Darren Rose to try to deliver a couple of free throws here. He's not had a great game, but his second half has been pretty solid. We'll see if he can finally send us away. I mean, we're going to need a 3 if he knocks down this one. He got the first end of the 1-1. Darren Rose, the 6'10 junior. The second one is off. 7 seconds left, and AJ Ollie will advance it to the front court and then call a timeout. 3.5 seconds left to go. What does Coach Carter have drawn up to at least try to take this into overtime? This losing streak could end right here, right now, if we just execute our X's and O's here. 3.5 seconds left to go. It'll be AJ Ollie off of a screen. He receives it at the elbow, and rolling off of that screen is Murphy for the tie, and it rims out. No. Oh my goodness. It was such a nice play drawn up by Coach Carter. Ollie drawed 3 guys to him. Behind the back dish to Preston Murphy, and it was a decent look, but the rim doesn't do us any favors. And the winning streak, rather losing streak, will fall to 8 consecutive games, and we have to watch another opponent celebrate right in front of us. I mean, what can you do? It was another pretty well played game by Fordham all the way through. A few mistakes, but we were able to hang with a really good Dayton team despite Preston Murphy not having his type of game. Evangelo Higgins led us in scoring with 11, and we saw Fabian Swanson get a lot more minutes than Cade Sorensen. I know he had those 2 personal fouls in the first half, but Swanson was there. He was on the floor in the last couple minutes. And unfortunately, we're going to have to drop another game to a very talented A10 team. Darren Rose at 13, with Stafford putting up 15. And Bamba Shimokawa only with 1 field goal, that 3-pointer he made right before the intermission. And it really sucks we couldn't get that win, because now we have to play Richmond, who's number 11 in the country. Then we have to take on Charlotte. So in back-to-back games, we're going to face the top offense in Richmond and then the top defense in Charlotte within the conference before the schedule finally starts to ease up a little bit. So obviously, just the tough luck for Fordham continues. It seems like that is a common occurrence here in Season 1. They're letting scoring by Jonathan Odom, a very talented 2-guard, at 14 points per game, and they have 3 guys who put up at least 10 points a night, something you won't see very often. They're the top offense, the top passing team at 13 assists per game. They're second to only Temple in team steals across the entire conference. And yeah, this is a very tough team on both sides of the floor to figure out. So we're back at home to face probably the best team in the conference, because St. Louis is going through kind of a tough stretch right now. They were the Final Four team last year that we always seem to talk about, and they went 16-0 in the conference, but St. Louis, nah, move over, because the Richmond Spiders are coming through. This is such a tough team, and they play at such a high pace of play. As you'll see pretty quickly here, there was a lot of points put up here in the first half of action. Kate Sorensen dumping it down low to AJ Ollie. Are we going to be able to hang with this offense? Well, it's only a couple of possessions in this game, but I mean, hey, we're doing a pretty good job of it so far. As you see, 10 minutes into the ball game, and it's already 15-13, so 28 combined points in the first 5 minutes of game time. Tamir Armstrong, one of the 3 guys who averages 10 points per game. Well, that's actually all 3 of them right there, as that ball swings from Tamir Armstrong to Jonathan Odom to the point guard. That's Brashad Lavender. So all 3 guys for Richmond who average 10 points a game hook up there, but then AJ Ollie runs the floor, goes the distance to deliver 2 points right back. And here comes Lavender once again. This time it's rejected by Vashawn Pollard as he looks for a teammate. It's Preston Murphy hitting Jonathan Odom with his signature shot. He loves to put it on the deck for a dribble and pull up from that corner. He seems to be doing it almost every episode. So some reserves finally check in. We see Nystrom, we see Amir Holiday, and Stan Scott. We'll see if we can keep pace with our reserves out on the floor. And it's Stan Scott from 3 who gets the friendly bounce, knotting it back up at 20 apiece. So Fordham back at home, they're hungry to finally snap this losing streak, despite it being against a top 11 team in the nation. This is Taylor Valentine, the backup point guard for the Spiders. He will try to drive the distance, and everybody closes out there nicely, and we have a chance to take the lead on the number 11th ranked team in the country. It's Fabian Swanson, up and under move, and it rims out. Flashbacks to last game from Preston Murphy. But hey, once again, it's a tie ball game, 33 apiece as we head into the second half of action. We'll strike first, 35-33 Fordham, as this one will be Vashawn Pollard trying to isolate against this zone. Evangelo Higgins tries to beat this zone with passing and not dribbling, and it works out very well in Preston Murphy's favor. He's the first Fordham player with at least 10 points to his name on the ball game. As here comes Travion Flowers, a talented power forward who can't get it to fall. Vashawn Pollard, who's had a really good day, he will continue that really good day with a back-to-back 3 for Preston Murphy, as it's Pollard setting it up. So we have our biggest lead of the contest at that point at 7, but then 6 unanswered for Richmond, as Preston Murphy, nice assist inside. The turnaround jumper is not knocked down by Kate Sorensen. We've had trouble finishing inside all game, which has me worried for the final 10 minutes of this ball game. That's now 8 unanswered points for Richmond, and I mean, hey, Fordham, yeah, their perimeter shooting has been really good, but with how inconsistent it's been on the season, it's only a matter of time before it slows down. And Tamir Armstrong was 16. He's the game's top scorer. That's kind of what happened down the stretch. Our shooting could only keep pace with these Spiders for so long until we finally tired out. And yeah, Richmond is such a good three-point shooting team, and they take so many. They are number 1 in the A10 in three-point attempts, and they lead St. Louis by 80. Richmond has taken 505 threes on the year, and St. Louis is number 2 in three-point attempts in the A10 with 426. So much of their offensive diet, you could say, comes from beyond the arc, and we just could not close out on these shooters for all game long. So 75-61, another game where we held tough for the first 15 minutes, but obviously the talent in this game just shined through down the stretch. Preston Murphy, nice bounce back effort with 19 in this one after 4 for 15 against Dayton. And we saw AJ Ollie get his ships sailing in the right direction. Bit of a tongue twister, but yeah, he started having a better game in this one against a very good front court. And then Richmond with 5 players in double figures. He just did not know where the threes were coming from. So Richmond, a well-oiled machine. They look like the favorites to win the conference, as St. Louis is starting to kind of hit a rough skid as of late. So Richmond starting to become the favorites. And we didn't do so hot in the second half against the top scoring offense in the A10, but how about the top scoring, or rather defending team in the A10? The Charlotte 49ers. These guys, they allow the least amount of points in the Atlantic 10, and with how inconsistent our shooting has been, and honestly how we've been as a whole on the offensive end, we'll see how we combat these 49ers, and it'll be even tougher on the road. Robert Mooney is their top scorer, 13 points a game, but only in the mid-30s shooting percentage-wise, so a very inefficient player. I'm more worried about their freshman center, 82 overall, DeAndre Perry, who looks like he's going to be a beast in the conference for years to come. About 6 points and 6 rebounds averaged on the year, and a really athletic player as well, standing at 6'10". So we'll see how we do. We're going to end the episode off here against Charlotte, who was just in the top 25 last week. We'll see how we can hang with these 49ers. I'm pretty concerned about this offense. We'll see how we can do. This is a skip pass to begin the game. Good reversal to Preston Murphy, who gets the upper hand on Khalid Marshall, who only stands at 5'10". If Marshall's going to be covering Murphy all game, I want to use that as an advantage for us on the offensive end because Marshall's not the greatest defender. And then here on the other end, it's Mooney setting up DeAndre Perry, who puts a poster down on both Pollard and Ollie. So that is a pretty tough way to begin this game as we see Vic Oliver, a very talented freshman. Charlotte starts 2 underclassmen. This one's off the mark, however, with Higgins almost having his pocket picked by Mooney, but he saves it right to Higgins, and in the scrum game, it works to our benefit. AJ Ollie perched at the top of the key, and where he's able to find him. Nice pass there by Higgins, making something out of nothing. So Charlotte up 11-7 here. Ball reversal to AJ Ollie. He's looking backdoor. Good patience there as he finds Preston Murphy and waits for him to create the angle to get the pass in. Love that play. And the team play so far against this really stout defensive team is pretty impressive so far. I was not expecting Fordham to be making these good passes and playing this much as of a team, but they continue to do so here. Nice give and go between Vashon Pollard and Stanton Scott. Scott continues to be such a valuable piece ever since Coach Carter gave him the reins off the bench. How about 4 points, and he's knocked down 8 of 23s on the year, and he seems to not be such a head case anymore ever since he got the nod into the lineup. I mean, he was starting to become a bit of a locker room issue whenever Coach Carter was benching him in favor of Hassan Rivera, but ever since he's got rotation time, you haven't heard a peep out of Stan Scott, at least anything negative. Nice backdoor feed on the next possession. It's Nick Nystrom linking up with Preston Murphy as Fordham takes the lead. Now 26 apiece as we dwindle the half down to a minute to go. Evangelo Higgins from the elbow. It's Vashon Pollard covered by Logan Bowen, the power forward. But this one's a handoff to Vashon Pollard. Nice drop step move over Logan Bowen. And we will take the lead for a moment's notice, and then Charlotte will knot things up. So for the 4th time in the last 5 games, it's a tie ball game at halftime. Can Fordham finally seal the deal and finally drop this losing streak? This will make it 10 if we can't close it out tonight, but it seems like we're watching a replay. It's another tough start for us to begin another half of action as DeAndre Perry soars over Sorensen and puts in 2 more points. The game's top scorer, Perry, the talented freshman, has 12 already, and we begin beat bad on the boards all game long. Charlotte was out rebounding us 18-9 at the break, and that will only extend it as Perry delivers 2 more points. Beautiful backdoor feed by Mooney as Sorensen, he's getting attacked by all angles. At all angles, I should say, by DeAndre Perry. So now Charlotte's biggest lead. It's a 12-2 run for Charlotte as they now jump out to a 42-30 lead. Higgins trying to set up Pollard. Nice crossover move on Nathan Lutz, and then delivers a layup with the D draped all over him. DeAndre Perry couldn't get in position in time as we start to finally try out this full court press to try to deliver a different flavor on the defensive side of the floor, to no avail there. But it looks like Coach Carter wants to extend his defensive pressure to all 94 feet. DeAndre Perry then is having his pocket picked, and Evangelo Higgins goes headlong to save it, and it will be Vashon Pollard. Another nice finished layup there as we finally have it down to 6, so we're within striking distance again. As the 5 out on the floor is the entire starting 5 with the exception of Stanton Scott. Preston Murphy having another tough game, so Scott having some extended run here. Moving to the top of the key. He's got some space to stroke it from 3. Let's go, Stanton Scott. 7 points for the junior out of Brooklyn. And it's another nice play there by AJ Ollie, setting up for his teammates. And Stanton Scott, I mean, what more can I say about his breakout? He has definitely been one of the higher risers throughout this losing streak, and I put him in the intro, or rather the title, for a reason. He's the breakout player I was talking about, as it's now a 5-point Charlotte lead. It's Vic Oliver, good perimeter shooter, doesn't get the bounce, but it's Logan Bowen again. Oh my goodness, can we just check out and grab a rebound? That's been our biggest flaw the entire game, as Preston Murphy checks in. Evangelo Higgins checks out for Amir Holiday, and Cade Sorensen, who's had a tough one today, will deliver a nice pass to Nick Nystrom. It's a wide open look for one of our better three-point shooters, but it's just not capitalized on. Having some great looks here down the stretch, but the shots we were hitting in the first half just not sinking through here in the second half. It's a screen run for Amir Holiday, bounce pass to Murphy. This time, it'll be Murphy tickling the twine. Only 9 for him on the game, but perhaps he can get it going down the stretch, just like he did in the Dayton game when he was having a tough one in that one as well. So Charlotte trying to hold off Fordham. You're starting to see these Atlantic 10 teams not being the one to finally give Fordham their first win. I feel like that's the reason why these teams are so motivated against us. Nobody wants to be the team that an 0-8 team in the conference snaps their losing streak against. And nice pass delivered there by Nick Nystrom. We have it tied again, 50-50 with 3:35 left on the game clock. AJ Ollie making half his shots on the game. Charlotte calling timeout. They're starting to feel the pressure once again. So despite the 49ers timeout, Fordham's still keeping this unconventional lineup in the game. I mean, it's working pretty well for them, as here comes Nick McIntosh giving the starting point guard Robert Mooney some rest on the bench, and he delivers a 3. But we have to check that replay. I mean, come on, look at Nathan Lutz here. He basically delivers a Kevin Garnett illegal screen on Nick Nystrom, moving his feet and basically boxing him out for Nick McIntosh to stroke a 3. That has to be called, the ref turning a blind eye there, and that could be the 3 that really turns things on its head this game. AJ Ollie, he delivers this one out to Preston Murphy. It's a tough shot, but there on the glass is Fabian Swanson. But this time the refs don't swallow their whistle. They call basket interference on Fabian Swanson. Was this ball still in the cylinder? I think not. And it's another call that goes against Fordham. And the rough fortune down the stretch in these games just continues to bite us in the butt. I mean, I cannot believe it, but hey, it doesn't hurt us on the scoreboard. We still get a stop, and we're still in this game. 60 seconds to play. It's AJ Ollie, and he'll give this one up to Amir Holiday. Yes, this unconventional lineup still on the floor as we try to break down this zone defense. Preston Murphy, pump fake inside to Ollie. Murphy wants the screen with 5 seconds left to shoot. Hand off to Ollie. Hop step inside. It's blocked by DeAndre Perry. Oh no. And then Amir Holiday with kind of a dumb foul there in the backcourt, because there's still a shot clock. We can still play for a stop and try to throw up a 3 with a couple seconds left. But since Amir Holiday fouled, that resets the shot clock. So now instead of having around 6 seconds of a difference, now there's only around 3. So if we get this stop, we need to run and try to get the best look possible, or use a timeout. We'll see what Coach Carter wants, but we need to focus on getting this stop with 18 seconds left. It's Charlotte. It's Robert Mooney. He will survey, and he will deliver this one to Perry. It's Nathan Lutz who tries to kick it back out to Marshall for the win. And no, it's off. But Nathan Lutz grabs the rebound. Oh my goodness. Again, Fordham this entire game has not been able to beat Charlotte on the boards. It's just ridiculous. And then sealing the game once and for all, it's the freshman wing, Vic Oliver, who knocks down a free throw to at least make it a 2-possession game. The second one is drained through 2, and so this last second effort will go in vain. It's another loss. Win streak now 10 games as we continue to hit an all-time low, not only in this series, but in Coach Carter's entire career, UT Martin included. 59-54. And this was a very forgettable game. We outplayed Charlotte on offense. I firmly believe that. We had a really solid day. I mean, I know it wasn't a Preston Murphy type day, but everybody else was getting involved, throwing assists, making shots, and we had a lot of team assists to show for it. But at the end of the day, when you get out-rebounded 31-18, and most of those are on the offensive glass, yeah, that's just not a recipe for success. And that was really the difference as Charlotte scrapes by, and we once again drop a really close game against a really quality opponent, pushing the losing streak to now 10 games. We fall to 3-14 on the season. But next episode, finally, at least the schedule opens up a little bit. We have UMass and Xavier both at home, and UMass only has one win in the conference. And then I'm also going to be simming the St. Bonaventure game and then having a recruiting update for you guys. I want to at least play everybody once here in season 1 within the conference so we get kind of a feel on how these teams play. It's always so cool in this game how every team has kind of their own method of playing and their own lineups and their own pedigree and their own styles of play. So I always like to at least play everybody once in the first season, and I'm going to be doing that. Even though this kind of looks like a lost season, we still want to see what all these teams are like in the future. So I'll definitely be doing that. Coach Carter perhaps on the hot seat now. His job security has dropped. It's about half of what it was at the beginning of this season. So now Ken Carter, for the first time in this entire series, once again UT Martin included, he might be thinking about being on the hot seat. And that's something that you never even expect with Ken Carter. So it's another losing episode. Once again, we just cannot snap this losing streak. It rises to 10, falling to 3-14 on the season. But finally, at least the schedule starts to ease up for us a little bit. UMass and Xavier, both winnable games at home. And you just gotta hope that it's not too late for us to at least salvage this season. And with the season end 9 games away, and we're 0-7, of course, in the conference so far. For us to be improved in the conference from the season before Coach Carter got here, we have to go 4-5 in our final 9 games to see improvement. Because last season, the first season before Coach Carter got here, the Fordham Rams only went 3-13 in the conference, and we have to go 4-5 to improve on that mark in our final 9 games of season 1. Can we do it? I mean, if we start closing out some of these games, maybe we'll have a shot. And in these final 9 games, we just want to see improvement. So that'll bring us to an end of another episode of Season 1 of the Fordham Rams Legacy Mode featuring Coach Carter here on my channel. Appreciate you guys stopping by today. I'm sorry about the losing once again. We just are this close to beating some of these good teams, but we just don't have the consistency yet. And there's a couple of things that we're desperately missing that hopefully Coach Carter can snag in recruiting. Speaking of recruiting, gonna have that recruiting episode, or rather update, next episode after we face Xavier and UMass. So stay tuned for that. And the road to NBA 2K coming back soon here on the channel. This is College Sports Revived signing out. Peace, everybody. Appreciate you guys stopping by today. I'll see you guys around.